13 years later, are we safer? A growing number of Americans don't think so. According to our latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, 47% of Americans think we are less safe now than before 9/11, a jump from 28% only a year ago. And in only the last few weeks, a huge change in the number of Americans willing to take the fight to ISIS, even in Syria. The difference, the horrific ISIS video of 2 Americans being beheaded, galvanizing the U.S. as no other terror threat has in the last 13 years. Last night, President Obama, elected with a pledge to withdraw troops from Iraq and Afghanistan, set an entirely different course, announcing an expansion of the military mission.
I've made it clear that we will hunt down terrorists who threaten our country wherever they are. That means I will not hesitate to take action against ISIL in Syria as well as Iraq. This is a core principle of my presidency. If you threaten America, you will find no safe haven.
Does the president have the authority to act without Congress's approval? I'm joined now by the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Dianne Feinstein. Senator, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Andrea.
Does the president need authority from Congress to do the expanded military mission that he seemed to be laying out last night?
I think the mission that he laid out last night, as I understand it, I believe he has the authority to move on it. What he does need is an authorization under a specific title that essentially would allow him to put military to train in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis are prepared to provide a base and an area where this training can take place. But as I understand it, he needs the authorization, not the money, but the authorization to provide military training there.
The president only a few weeks ago was referring to ISIS as the JV team, and also suggesting a couple of months back that it was a fantasy to think that the Free Syrian Army could step up to this task. It's changed. It's changed pretty dramatically. What do you think made the difference?
I think the intelligence that has been coming in lately is really quite stark in what's happened. The number of foreign fighters, the number of tribal fighters that have joined the ISIL forces, the numbers in the ISIL forces. I think the numbers alone are a very captivating case. They are huge. I think the land that ISIL now occupies, when you look at it on a map, is much more than people see in the little tendrils of cities on a map that they occupy. I think the argument that is now believable is that they're headed to Baghdad. And I think the atrocities they have committed in the process are now so starkly known and continuing that this says we've got to act now. So I commend the president. It's not easy when you take one position and then you look at new facts and you say, my goodness, I've got to change my mind. I think he's done that in a very authoritative and comprehensive way. And I think the plan he has put together with 10 Arab countries gives us a good chance of success and certainly participation. So I thought the speech last night was strong, was positive, and I only hope that both sides of this place they call the Congress will come together and do what's right.
Well, the president seemed to suggest, well, he did suggest, that this would be similar to things that we have done successfully in Yemen, where we have a partner in the government, which we don't have in Syria, that it's similar, though, to Yemen, to Pakistan, to Somalia, that it's a counter-terror operation, no boots on the ground. But there will be special forces. There will be boots on the ground. There will be combat brigades going in to help as advisors in Iraq. You know that there will be people on the ground in Syria to help with airstrikes, potentially. Is the president being straight with the American people about what this really entails?
Yeah, I think he's being straight. Now, maybe you know what I don't know.
I think that's highly unlikely, Senator.
I don't agree with everything you've just said, but be that as it may, The president has taken time to put things in motion, and there have been members of his staff, the Secretary of State on down, going all over the world securing commitments at the United Nations, in the Arab League, in other places. I personally happened to just meet with the ambassador of Qatar the day before yesterday, and he was very clear that they are willing to help. And that's significant because that represents a change. This was a country that reportedly did provide money to attackers that now no longer is. So these are good things that are happening. Now, is this going to be overnight? No. And the president, I think, is right to caution. Now, different presidents might do it differently. But look, this is the commander-in-chief. We have a problem. It is a big problem, and it could come to our shores at any time. It is critical at this time that both parties come together and say, we support you, Mr. President. We are going to be helpful instead of trying to be a problem.
Dianne Feinstein, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Right. Thank you.
And